Hello, everybody, and welcome to another free game Jukebox episode. We are on episode 2. If you did not catch episode 1, it should be on YouTube. If it is not on YouTube, let me know. This one should be on YouTube as well. So, I am pulling up chat. I may not be very attentive, but I think the game that we're playing today is a visual novel. So, I will be reading all the things to you. It will be a bit slow, and I'm hoping that this is a very interesting story. And I am specifically hoping that this is not porn, because I don't know if I trust it. It apparently passed all my tests. Okay. Okay. All right. We're just going to go ahead and start from actually the very. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, here we go. There we go. All right. YouTube is now along with us. This is already starting off very cute. I like all of this. Envelope. Okay. We have achievements. We have no idea what they are. I guess we'll just get into it. Stretching down from the northwest like a stricken tiger, with its jaws wide open to the east, lies the valley. Okay. That's a bit aggressive, I'm not gonna lie. The valley is as old as the world itself, and it's very loud. It's very distracting. Hold on. The valley is as old as the world itself, and on its ancient, crooked back it bears a bracing wind. I should check to see if there's a mod for this. The valley was, for 100,000 years, peopled only by beasts, birds, and flowers, and it was for their sake alone that the wind would blow. Even the distant era when the men settled here and built a village was, in the long, long memory of the land, only a recent occurrence. The settlers, enterprising sorts, built a fine mill to harness the power of the wind, to have it turn the stone that grinds the grain. But though the same wind that blew then blows the same to this very day, the wheel no longer turns. Yeah, because there's no canvas on the wheel. It all got eaten or rotted away, or this is a decrepit building. Thank you for describing a decrepit building. I will say, though, this is very pretty artwork. Like, the way that they have captured the clouds. I am very impressed with the artwork right now. Definitely, definitely enthralling. It broke down sometime, somewhere on the inside, and there was nobody left who could say why. The knowledge was forgotten. Whoops. I've spent every day of my 18 years in this valley, and in all that time, I've never seen it turn. That spectacle is another memory only the land possesses. Though not exactly an enterprising sort myself, I have more than once become so consumed by pique that I've climbed up inside the machinery to take a look at it myself, to try to understand what went wrong. Needless to say, I couldn't figure it out either. Thus it is that, at present, millers like myself turn the great stone with our own bodies. That's pathetic. Really? Really? Nobody else could figure out how to fix this thing? Just make a new one. Sorry. That was rather aggressive for my bad. Hold on. I had to take a moment. All right. Get an ass to do it, you say? An ass. There is nothing like that here. We've got goats and other small ruminants, and various fowl, but I've never seen a goat that could turn our millstone, let alone a cook. Chook? What the fuck is a chook? Sounds like a slur. So, with that being the case, every day I get up and grind away. Wow, that's exceedingly boring. Seriously, in all that time of being bored, nobody thought, nobody had thinking. Grinding the basis of my existence. Grinding, a sound more regular than my heartbeat. Yeah, that makes sense. I have no cause to complain. It's honest work, and somebody has to do it. Only every morning I look at the spokes of that impotent, languid wheel, black against the dawn sky, and I feel something. Something like irritation. Bro's mad at the windmill. This is so poetic. Okay, bro, who is mad at the windmill? Gets to work, sheds his day's sweat, and the faint feeling of irritation never quite goes away for him. Uh, yeah, bro sounds like he's kind of just existing in boredom perpetually and taking it out on this windmill over here that nobody is. I'd be mad too. Be like, really? How many generations are we? Nobody's like even thought to go and like try to make a new one. Just follow the steps. It can't be that hard. Or not really the steps. Like you can take apart any piece of machinery and figure and put out how to put it back together also means you can put it back together however you want to make it work. Anyway, so what I'm hearing is it's a village full of idiots. Okay. Different vibe. The broken wheel and the lot of exiles. Oh my god, are we gonna go turn the wheel on? Oh. There's no voices. Hold on. That was the wrong application. This one. Okay. Oh yeah, by the way, the description for the game is join Otto on his quest to rescue his sister in this fantasy visual novel. Sorry, I forgot to go over like the game itself. Yeah, I kind of decided to do this out of the blue. Whoops. Oh. my god. The music's been muted. Hold on, I have to... Okay. It may be that the audio will not be working. There we go. Got it figured out. Okay, back to it. In my dream, I see, framed in the doorway, the back of a young man clad in blue livery. I don't know what that means. With a sword hanging at his waist. I'm assuming it means like outfit. It's my brother's back on the night he left 10 years ago. Wish I had like friends who could read out these in different voices. I feel like that would be fun. But whatever. Oswald. Ah, you're awake. What a strange thing to say in a dream, huh? But no matter what, he always says the same thing. Brother, where are you going? I like the detail that the eyes are red. That's nice detail. I'm going back to the capital. You're going back? You've only just come home. Why do you have to leave again? I have a lot I want to ask him. Sensible questions. But just like the only words that come are those of my 8-year-old self. I'm sorry, Otto, but Here, no crying now. You have to be brave. For her sake, too. But I'm not crying. There's another child who is crying. Somewhere out there, without anyone to wipe away her tears. Who's a child? This man in his dream is a child? Question mark? Or no. Who? It's been 10 years. I'm older than you now. For her sake. He means her. I got you. Who is a child? Who is this person? This man himself is a damn child, though. I have to believe she's still alive. And so my work is not yet done. Brother, you don't have to answer my questions. Just what? Come back? Take me with you? Big boy Otto. Please don't be gone. Good evening, Otto. I open my eyes and see a fair angel looking down at me. I hear her gentle voice. Bronwyn, my sister, who appeared the same night brother disappeared. Even after all these years, I can't quite believe she's real. Winnie, I must have fallen asleep at my desk again, huh? I found you drooling into your journal with ink all over your face. That's disgusting, dude. It's still there? Cleaned it off. Thank you. You didn't need to do that. You could have I must have ruined everything I'd written. I'm afraid it's quite illegible, but in its own way, it's a testament to how hard you worked today. The whole point of keeping this journal is to improve my penmanship and become more adept at articulating my thoughts. Yep, very, very valid reason to keep a journal. Not to make an impression. She's always like this, finding strange ways to turn a negative into a positive. It would be condescending coming from anyone else, but I can only offer such words as a token resistance when they come from her. Especially when I have my head on her lap. I've been saying this for a while, but I don't think you need to worry about improving anymore. The way you are now, you can easily do the work of a clerk or scribe. I'm a miller, though, if circumstances permitted. She frowns at my interjection, then laughs softly. As your opinion as my teacher, you really are a man of the millstone, aren't you? So this is his sister and his teacher? Oh. Dude, I don't know if I want to read this out loud. I find it objectionable. In that queer hour before the break of dawn. Ugh. Bro. I'm starting not to care after that whole scene with the sister. He's so transfixed by the phenomenon that at first he fails to notice the shapes at the foot of the mill. Yeah, I don't want to be this guy. I'm just gonna talk to him, talk about him in the third person. Whoa. Okay. Terra Incognita. Nice. I'm so transfixed by the phenomenon that at first he fails to notice the shapes at the foot of the mill. Oh, wrong button. There's a man lying on his back. Standing over him is a second figure, dark and indistinct. It's as though the man and his shadow have swapped places. Strange things like that aren't strange at all in a dream, however, so I don't dwell on them too much. I don't see a man in a man. You see a man in a man? Are they here? Are they there? Yeah, I'm not seeing shit. I don't know, I always sucked at those find the picture in the picture games. Strange things like that aren't strange at all in the dream, however, so I don't dwell on them too much. Oops, sorry. Instead, he feels compelled to take a closer look at the windmill. It might provide a clue to fixing its counterpart in the waking world. Perhaps he should be ashamed of himself for entertaining such a boorishly practical notion during a dream. So, the reason why this is so poetic is because we are reading the writings of this child. I don't care how old he is, he looks like a damn child. Perhaps he should be ashamed of himself. Oh, there's the man. As if in response to my self-censure, a tall shadow, shape of midnight darkness in the hazy blue-gray tableau, now appears before him. He's like a doggy. He hesitates to use a definitive article as he can't tell if it's the same shadow as the one by the mill or a different one. In that fantastical way, time and space become indistinct in a dream. They feel as though they are one and the same. If he he were pressed to explain, he would say the reflection the thing has cast on the lake has emerged from the water to seek out a host of its own. Okay, spooky. Whatever it is, it's an uncanny apparition. It doesn't feel like part of my dream, his dream, at all. It's a foreign element, an intruder. I don't care to find out what this phantom is after. I simply am not going to play along. Alright, I guess we're giving up on talking about him in the third person. Sorry. I don't know. That whole thing with the sister still weirded me out. Ugh, he turns on his heel, and no sooner had he done so than he is standing high above the thin morning mist at the summit of the hills that rise up steeply behind his cottage. Or sorry, I keep hitting the wrong button. He looks back at the shadow. And to his surprise, it seems to have taken no notice of his egress. It instead appears to be shuffling around the houses as if it were seeking something else entirely. It almost looks imbecilical, and no, imbecilic, whatever, down there, like the blind old dog sniffing for truffles. Where is your master, hound? To whom would go the spoils of your search? I soon lose interest in watching the apparition, putting it out of my mind. He soon loses interest in watching the apparition, putting it out of his mind. He directs his gaze into the fathomless depths of the blue sky. Sorry. Okay, the heavens are vast in comparison. The mountains that choke the valley look small enough to step over. Okay, so you ran up a mountain. The morning sun is on the other side of these peaks. Rather than simply wait for it, he... A terrible cry echoes through the sky. It's similar to the cry of a hawk, but much more. That's it. It must be the howl cry of the hawk. It must be how the cry of a hawk sounds to a rabbit. I'm a little stoned, but reading is also hard. It's a fearful sound, another foreign element, but the feeling it stirs inside of me isn't fear, but rather there comes now a distant muffled voice. A notion I was on the verge of grasping slips through my fingers. Wake up. The voice is coming from back inside the house. Someone is obviously trying to wake me up. I can only curse my misfortune as my mind is flooded with worldly thoughts that drag me down like so many leaden chains. Wake up, Otto. Bronwyn ? Winnie? When did your face get so hairy? Get punched. Mad. Not your sister, you blockhead. The hirsute face of the village chief gradually comes into focus. A more inauspicious thing to see immediately upon awakening. He sits up in bed, nursing the site where he was struck. Chief, what are you doing here? Did I oversleep? Am I late for work? No, for goodness sake. Rouse yourself, dude. She's gone. Bronwyn is gone. Winnie is... I look over at the alcove where Bronwyn sleeps. The dividing curtain is pulled to one side, and the bed is empty. I get out of bed and walk over there. The chief is right. She's not here. But what's so alarming about that? She's always out and about by now. I turn back to him, so I must be giving him a funny look, because he's scowling harder than usual. He grabs me by the arm and drags me outside. I'm just going to go fast now. I wince as the sunlight cuts into my eyes like a razor, but the chief wastes no time in holding forth with whatever it is he wants to bother me about at this dreadful hour. She was drawing water from the lake when this great bloody dragon dropped out of the sky and landed right there in the middle of the village. A dragon? The rider was a knight in a frightful black armor. No, the truly frightful thing was the naked black blade at his hip. So, like, without a scabbard. I'm assuming is what naked means. I couldn't move. I'm not making excuses for my cowardice, Otto, and I truly couldn't move for fear of that sword. I just stood there and watched as he cast some spell on her, and she went out like a snuffed candle. Then he slung her over the saddle and flew away. Is this another dream? Am I still asleep? He looks around. I look around me. It's the same old village, under the same old sky, and the windmill isn't turning. This old fart is telling me a knight astride a dragon, a figure from the world of fiction, descended upon this village and kidnapped Bronwyn. Yeah, I'm in that boat too. Ridiculous. The chief might look tough and vigorous, but he's getting on in years. He must be losing his mind. Well, if he had bashed her on the head with a hammer and tossed the body in the lake, he would have come up with a better story. I can rule that out, at least. So really, where is she? I walk back inside the house, back over to her bed. Still not here. I get the notion to look underneath, then check myself upon reflection, realizing how stupid it is. Is it really stupid? It's no more stupid than some tall tale about knights and dragons. I'm already down on all fours when I notice two small figures at the entrance. It's the children from next door, little Riemann and her older brother, whose name I can't recall, Tongo, Tibber? They're both Bronwyn students. I must have realized something is wrong. Hey, what am I saying? Nothing is wrong. Did something happen to Miss Bronwyn? Nothing to worry about. She's just hiding somewhere. But what? My voice comes out strangely agitated, and the children both flinch. Why did I snap like that? They look like they're about to cry. The looming shape of the chief appears behind them and guides them gently away. I stare at the open, empty doorway. It might be a magic door that people may leave through, but never return. Sometimes they're carried out, wrapped in sackcloth shrouds. Sometimes they walk out, wearing blue silk. And sometimes they're whisked away on a dragon by a mysterious knight in black. Where did you all go? My question sinks into the dusty air of the small room, without even an echo in response. I continue to stare at the one-way door for what feels like a long time. There is a pain in my chest, like huge, heavy, wooden gears, trying and failing to turn in concert. After a while, with no apparent impetus, perhaps simply because my knees are beginning to hurt, I get back to my feet. So why didn't you look under the bed? It seems the body is a machine that can operate independently of turmoil in the machinery of that heart. Oh my God. I really hope that we can pick options in this game and I can choose to look under the bed, because now I want to know what's under the fucking bed. I washed my face and got dressed. Without really understanding why, I began filling a pack with everything I'd need for an outing. I finished my preparations for I don't know what and step outside. The chief is sitting on his favorite flat rock with the two children, looking lost in his own village. A number of sleepy, confused-looking villagers have emerged from their homes to see what's going on. I feel a self-consciousness close to embarrassment. and when I address the chief, my manner is unpleasantly hearty and cheerful. So which way did it go? Which way did what go? The dragon, of course. He looks me up and down, as though I just said something absurd. You can't be thinking of following it, can you? On foot? Would you care to suggest an alternative? That's not what I mean. What about the mill? What about the mill? It really is losing it. Anybody can turn a bloody millstone. I need to find Winnie. Calm down, Otto. This isn't the time for rash behavior. You must surely be appalled, but the truth is that this world is a cruel place, cruel and bizarre. Dramatic changes can come out quite easily. It's not as if somebody died, Chief. We can do something at this time. It will only become a dramatic change if we allow it to. That thread of hope is an illusion, a trap. A trap? Sent by who? As the chief pauses at my question, he scrunches his eyes shut and grasps at the air with his hands while he searches for the answer. Fate! Alright. See, we had the same reaction. You know what I mean, Otto. You're putting your life on the line when you leave this valley. Losing Bronwyn is bad enough, but losing both of you would be totally unacceptable. I have to try. No, you don't. I won't permit it. Bronwyn isn't even your real sister. What is that supposed to mean? Chief seems to realize he said something stupid because his next words are quiet, almost at the level of an ordinary person's. She came here under strange circumstances. It's not so strange that she should leave by them too. That's a load of shit, Chief. Whoever she was before, Winnie has been my sister for the past 10 years. I look around at all the others, anticipating some show of support. However, my words elicit no change in their docile, non-committally sympathetic expressions. The other young men seem to be making an effort to avoid my gaze entirely. She teaches the children how to read and write, and they all love her. Doesn't it bother any of you that she's just gone? Am I supposed to act as if she was never here in the first place? There's nothing that can be done, not by simple folk such as ourselves. We just have to accept it. That's our lot in life. The children, who look like they've cried once already, begin to cry again. I've been there. I know what that feels like and what that looks like. I'm wondering if this bird on screen is the kook. Or chook? Kook is better. I'm gonna get a rooster and name him Kook. I'm getting nowhere. What exactly am I trying to convince these people of anyways? It's clear to me this isn't their problem. It's mine. I can't accept it. Not this situation, nor those cowardly and fatalistic words of yours. I can't say nothing can be done until I've tried everything. Now, which way did the dragon go? The chief buries his face in his giant hand. It runs in the family. I was hoping you might have been different from Oswald, but it turns out you're both lunatics. He goes silent for a while, then slowly drags his palm down his face and looks up at me. It went east. Towards the capital? There's nothing to suggest that's where it's going, and there are a lot of things in the east after all. Well, it's a start. I'm feeling more clear-headed after speaking to the chief. I notice the children have stopped crying and are staring at me again. I'm gonna go find Miss Bronwyn now. Wherever she's hiding, I'll find her. They don't seem very reassured, honestly. What uncute kids. Uncouth? Whatever. Leave it to Otto. Let's leave it to Otto then, eh? Here, you'll be wanting this as well. This chief hands me a satisfyingly weighty drawstring bag made of a fine material foreign to the valley. I unfasten it and take a look inside. It's crammed full of coins, minted from some tacky-looking yellow metal. That must be that. This is gold? I've never seen the real thing before. It's gold, all right. The night left it here. I was going to give it to you when you calmed down, but I can see that this isn't going to happen. I closed the bag and left it in the heft of my palm. This bag, something strange about it? It's the exact weight of Winnie's boobs. What the fuck, dude? You'll pay for this insult, Black Knight. Bronwyn is kind and intelligent woman. She isn't just a pair of breasts. What the actual fuck, dude? You bastard. How do you know something like that? See? See? What the... I'm glad I'm not the only one. From when we bathed together, obviously. Okay. That's weird. For me, that makes me uncomfortable. But whatever. I mean, I guess when they're kids, it's fine, but... Those are kids. Why are you suddenly so mad? Dude, you live in a delusional world. I had no idea you were living in paradise. No wonder you've always had that stupid look on your face. I've changed my mind. I'm exiling you from this village until you bring Bronwyn back. Get the fuck away from me and my village. Agreed. Go get her, you Mongol. That's so good. I take with the chief's proverbial blade still stinging my backside, I take my leave of the village. I set off on the dusty track winding its way through the sloping fields of barley that sate the mill's hunger. Small figures flit through the long stalks on either side of me. All the children will have heard what's happened by now. Though I can't see them, I feel the sharp pressure of their pure eyes appraising my worth, measuring me against my quest. That's terrifying. Have like little kids randomly running around you just for like shits and giggles. It's really making me itch. See? It's terrifying. Just trust me, you damn brats. The barley eventually gives way into a succession of craggy green hills, and I spend the fine summer morning trekking over them, leaving a path here and there to walk as the crow flies. In spite of my weighty task, I catch myself enjoying the feeling of the warm sun on my head and shoulders. All around me are nothing but familiar sights. This entire valley is practically my backyard, but it's not the same as usual. It's the first leg of what may well prove to be a long journey, and part of me is perhaps afraid I may never walk these lands again. By mid-afternoon and many paces southeast, the hills have taken on a rocky, precarious aspect and a distinct downward incline. I've been as far as this before, but it's a territory of excursion and whimsical wandering. Beyond here are the foothills where the whimsy stops. Indeed, this is the terminus of the beaten path, where you used to continue on, there remains no trace. For the people of the valley, there is no longer anywhere to go, and exiles are left to their own resources. As I descend, and my trepidation ascends. As I descend, my trepidation ascends in proportion. It's not long before I'm jumping at every sound, eyeing every shadow with abject suspicion. Well, yeah, you just had a bunch of kids running around you in barley. That's terrifying. Now that's all you're going to be thinking about. In fact, I'm so preoccupied with potential hidden threats that I fail to notice the one in plain sight until we're looking one another in the eye. Oh, it's young Otto, isn't it? Roche? Okay. So inquires the man sitting rock-legged on a precipice, looking back at me over his shoulder. He's lost a lot of weight and a lot of hair, but remains of those lanky red locks unmistakably belongs to my old friend, Roche. Until recently, he was our village's foremost troublemaker, but he eventually took his mischief too far and was sent walking by the chief. Yeah, that makes sense. You can push boundaries and consequences will happen. Howdy, Roche. Hasn't it been a while? Quite. Haven't seen you since I got the old boot. Yeah, bro looks like he's starving in this picture. That must have been over 4 months ago now. I'll have to take your word for it. I've lost all track of time out here. Actually, I just got exiled as well. Sort of. Really? You too, huh? Roche springs to his feet and turns to face me. Where are you going with that big pack? Winnie got kidnapped. I'm gonna go rescue her. Kidnapped? That's terrible, really. Just awful. I wish I could help in some way, but things are pretty tough for me as well right now. I've just had a great idea. Why don't you give me your bag? There's food in there, right? Stuff like that will only weigh you down. What's going on here? You're a bandit now? Got a problem with it? Well, there can't be very many people to rob out here. We are a little bit isolated. So you understand why I have to go after a small fry like you. To be totally frank, I'm starving, man. Lose the bag. I can't really spare any of this food. Do you want some gold? What am I gonna do with gold? It's worthless up here. There's no economy. Maybe you should head to the capital as well. You could become my back alley hoodlum or something. No way, man. The forest is too scary. Okay, just starve then. For that matter, how are you going to get through the forest? You don't want to end up like Omer. Roche asks a very good question that I've been trying to avoid thinking about. I'll just have to wing it, I suppose. It's not like we know for sure that Omer bit it in there. What does that even mean? You're throwing your life away, you know? Which is all the more reason you should leave the bag. That way at least one of us will be able to live on. Forget about it. If you're that hungry, go and ask the chief to let you back in. That thick-headed old bastard will never let me back in. He hates my kind, you know. I think it's just you. There's Bronwyn, too. He'd probably organized her kidnapping himself. That's some theory, Roche. He must have considered her a threat to his authority. Yeah. Think about it, man. She brought the forbidden fruit of knowledge to our shitty little village, and everyone from our age downward has benefited from it. You're still an idiot, though? The adults were too proud to take lessons from the little girl, and the result of that was a wedge being driven between the educated young and the uneducated old. And since you're both uneducated and young, you don't belong anywhere, hence your exile? He was probably convinced she was going to try and oust him, so he seized the initiative and got rid of her first. What a tyrant! I hope those aren't rain clouds I see in the horizon. Hey, are you listening? Nope. I don't know why I'm trying to convince you. Roche sighs and reaches into his vest, produces a slim, rusty dagger. The ironical smirk fades from his face, and he assumes a hungry, fox-like manner that attains some level of menace through sheer desperation. This guy is a real, dyed-in-the-wool idiot. But, if I'm being totally honest, I'm somewhat tempted to cede to his demands. It would be safer and more pragmatic to surrender my pack to Roche, and return to the village to resupply. I haven't gone so far that this option is out of question. However, humiliating it would be. It would be the safest move. It really would. But how many walls lie ahead of me that are twice or 5 or 10 times as high as this one? How far do I have to go before I can no longer turn back? I slide my pack off my shoulders, but I don't hand it over. I place it safely behind me and pick up a handy rock. Roche, I bear you no ill will, but I'll smash your sorry face in if you try and take my bag. Well said. The point of no return is already far behind me. Roche's grin widens, but I can also see sweat beading on his face. I didn't think you had it in you, Otto. Seriously? You've got guts, Pilgrim. Okay. Please don't be porn. Despite the deadly tension, we both look stupidly up at the crag above us, the source of this unfamiliar voice. A striking figure stands there, a dark shape against the lowering western sun. The figure hops lightly down from the crag, blending in a neat crouch between me and my sight. A stranger. What the hell? It's only a girl. The girl seems to be a born adventurer of some kind. She's wearing an extravagant outfit that exposes a lot of her tan skin, and her hand is poised at the hilt of a jewel sword. I can scarcely believe my eyes. The valley is attracting a lot of outlandish visitors today. I'm a girl with a magic sword. That's quite the get-up. Are you some kind of pervert or what? Try to be open-minded about foreign cultures, Roche. It's certainly exotic. I'm sorry about him. Do you really need to apologize for this guy? He is trying to rob you. You must be a good person if you're trying to protect me, right? Even if you are wearing a strange outfit. Enough about my outfit already. This happens to be my preference. Submitted without apology. Yeah, let's get back to business. So she chose to wear this. The adventurer glances at Roche's dagger out of the corner of her eye, a dismissive grin on her lips. He swipes at the air as if trying to shake off the judgmental gaze. Otto, give me your bag. And Miss Pervert, give me your fancy sword. She laughs lightly and finally turns to face him. As you wish. Before he can react, she drops a low stance and darts forward. Here is my sword. With the slightest movement of her wrist, the sword seems to leap out of its scabbard and lash out like a snake. There's a shriek of pain, and Roche's dagger clatters against the rocks, followed by a few drops of red blood. His bony, long-fingered hand is skewered at the end of the adventurer's sword, like an unfortunate spider. I don't see it. Where is it? You're going to show me this, but you're not going to show me the gore? Where is the hand? Where is the hand? A smooth motion of her heel sends the dropped dagger over the edge of the crag. Having neutralized the threat, such as it is, she graciously removes her weapon. There may be a cat meowing in the background. He's fine, though, I promise. Roche whimpers and shrinks away from her, clutching his bleeding hand. He looks thoroughly cowed. His mouth opens as if to speak and then closes again. Save. Yeah, that's what I thought. Sorry. 4:21 in the morning. Shit, it is 4:21 in the morning. Fuck me. Settings. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Bro, I don't think I can play this. Streamer mode. There we go. I have had enough of your bullshit. Jesus Christ. Don't be porn. I can't remember seeing this guy lost for words. There's an awkward silence. Finally, he turns about and slinks off into the rocks with not even a parting remark. I almost feel bad for him. Get out of here, you lanky reprobate. Oh my god, Stanley. Stanley is here. Come on, announce your presence. You're so busy yelling. Look, Stanley can be here. Stay here. Stay here. Just stay there. No. Just stay here. Nope, just stay there. Sorry, I have to handle my cat really quickly. My benefactor evidently holds no such sentiments. She flicks the sword again, shedding Roche's blood like water off a duck's back, and returns it to its scabbard. I dropped the rock I'd picked up, now feeling rather brutish. Thank you, stranger. I would have been in trouble without these provisions. Doesn't seem all that genuine. The adventurer flashes me a smile that, while not unfriendly, doesn't seem all that genuine. No thanks are necessary, my good man. All that I ask is that you remember the name. It's here again. She trails off and seems to lapse out of consciousness. The name... A somewhat suspicious smile disappears from her features. With a shock that comes like a flash of lightning, I finally notice that she is an uncommon beauty. What the fuck? I am stricken. I almost fail to catch her when she suddenly falls towards me. Are you okay? Were you hurt? There comes the mournful howl of an empty stomach. It's not mine. Now is as good a time as any for supper, I suppose. Sorry, cat. Delicious. This bread of yours is something, and I'm not just saying that because I'm hungry. In the end, my provisions took a hit anyways. The foreigners are really going at them, actually. I'm getting anxious. It's a different species from the rubbish I've been eating up till now. I'm a miller, after all. I'd like to think I know a thing or two about bread. To think I'd find such a treat in this backwater. Even her white teeth tear fluffy chunks of bread away, and there's a flash of pink tongue as she pulls it into her mouth. Okay. Alright, we're done. Okay, I gave it an hour. I gave it a shot. Yes, I would like to overwrite my save. And the answer is going to unfinish. Yeah, that was It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. So, proof is, even though it has gone through a series of several tests, I still managed to miss some. So, this is going well. First, we start off with a game that I can't play, and then we continue with a porn game. Jesus Christ. I gotta find something else to do. Hold on, y'all. I got you. All right, I will be right back.